Okay. All right, y'all, we're gonna get started. So, in my teaching class, I have to take a teaching class other than this class. I hypothesized that if people didn't get graded on anything, they would do better because they wouldn't be stressed or anything. But I was proven wrong because no one signs up for this unless it's graded. So now I will be requiring to put in Venti to get your attendance grade. Okay. So in case what's stopping you from getting into Menti is not knowing how, you type in menti.com. Like, wow, oh my God, it's a code. What's the code? Go back here. It's this 157837. And write it on the board. Yep. And you're like, wow, okay, I've gone to menti.com. Now all I have to do is type in this code, which is this on the board. And then you're in. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then you go to send a comment. You're like, okay, hi, boy. Okay. By the way, it's all anonymous, but that's why you have to type in your name. Okay. Wow, that popped up. Okay. Everyone got that? Anyone need me to do it a second time around? Great job, Kylie. Great job, Laura. Great job, Daniel. Great job, Isabella. Love to see it, Slay. I'm gonna show you one more time for the people that just came in. You too. Menti.com. You type in the code 1578373. This can be. And then you press join. And then go. Send a comment. Type in your name here, all right? Okay, now that we got that in, that's gonna be how I take attendance, along with if you take the comprehension check. Okay, and you can type it in on any of the slides, like that will keep going. If you're scared to feel free to give me a thumbs up. I love when and I'll be able to see it that way. Okay, now that we have done that. Oh, and by the way, are you all okay with being recorded? Because there's a Zoom part of this. And so if anyone has an issue with being recorded, just let me know. Like email me, text me, whatever. There's a Zoom version of this. Okay. So there it is. Okay, so you guys have finished your first exams. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you guys. And there are cookies here. Haven't gotten a cookie, come up and get one. Or raise your hand and I can bring it to you. This thing. And you'd be glad that you're taking notes because reading back in the averages is actually so I think what happens every year is people forget for the sake of intuitive, you have to like take notes and stuff. Because it's a pretty easy exam. I'm not sure why they did it. It's always like that for the first time, and then people realize and they understand like how it works, how the exams go, and then they study more. I think I put any notes in it, but I didn't make it in a nut-free environment. I also have an EpiPen in my bag. Okay. Yeah, someone. Okay. That's fine. Go ahead. Okay. Well, if you ever start feeling like intensely itchy or you can't breathe, like a free environment. It's okay. I'm like barely. Okay, okay. But all right. So you did your first exam. Congratulations. all of you. Sit for the exam. I've been kind of going over what we've done in class and giving you a full summary. But now you know how to take notes. Now you feel like you've got a good grasp on how the lectures go. I'm going to do more of an analysis. So in investigation, I'll be asking more questions. I'll be checking your understanding, assuming that you've already listened to the class. Also, there has been an issue. I heard from another TA of giving back exams and then the student being like, "Where's my exam?" And the other TA being like, "You didn't take it." And then John saying, "No, you lost my exam." And that was a whole fiasco. And so, in order to not get sued, I will be requiring each of you to take a selfie with your exam, showing me that I did not lose your exam and I will not lose my job. That will be at the end. So like when you turn your exam back in, just like do that, please. And since we're kind of out of time, first exam is done, I want to check in with all of you guys. What was the characteristic of your least favorite teacher? What's working so far in this semester? What isn't working so far in the first semester? What's been difficult so far? And good reading is a big one. Things are graded on like 2 things. Yep, I feel that. And then the 9:30 recitation is not important. That's for you guys, but you're doing amazing. I've only seen it 2 movies, which is great. Yeah, yeah. So I'll keep this in mind as I go forward. Also, we're only at 13 students, and I know there's more than 13 of you. So if you want, you can participate in member join Menti and put your name up there. Okay. And what do you think is most important in a teacher? When you go through Rate My Professor, what are you looking for? What are you hoping for the rest of this academic career? You pay so much money for NYU, you know? Like, what do you hope? $200. Being succinct and clear, that's a big one. You know, when they did a huge research exam or like a whole survey, like they found that confidence was the #1 thing. I was like, so I'll keep that in mind. And last one. We have a couple more exams. I want to do best I can to prepare you for those exams. I want this to be engaging. I want it to be like a conversation or just worth your time and money. And so asking for feedback. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Samples, organizing stuff. Yeah, I love a good table because on the day of the exam, I just like where I can write it out. Okay, Slay, yeah. And if you are wondering about the study guides, because there's always one person who has no idea what's going on, you go to Psych Sign Up and you literally click on any of these and it will pop up with flashcards that are pre-made and also everyone give an applause to Amy and Alan Chen for doing notes today. Slay Amy, slay Alan. Thank you. Going back to it. Tables. Okay, play examples. So I'm getting examples and I'm getting to love that. Visuals examples. Daily memorization. Okay, that's great. That's great. Either of those are a hit or miss. So I was thinking about not including them here, but I thought I did. All right, yeah. Like definition. Yeah, but great. Okay, get your last answers in. I'm gonna move on. I'll be sure to include more examples in class, instead of just giving definition. And I'll be sure to include yeah, if you didn't know, I gave a short answer examples. Prepare for this first exam. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. Slide. Want it to be interactive? Want it to be worth your time? So decide how it's going to go today. You want to cover midterm test questions. You want to go over some midterm discussion. Are you worried about that for the next exam? I'm going to explain the brain. It's pretty explain down. We're going over Okay. Okay. So I do have to go over the brain for a little bit. And I think it's really, really easy to just give you an exam with a whole bunch of variables asking you to go through it. And you should definitely prepare for it. I'm going to keep you a quick short thought. So we got a couple of tips. Everyone get out a pen. And please take care of your neighbor if they do not have a pen. Like, help them out. What we're gonna do is honestly, you can't. Yeah, you don't know how to break down the brain. This part is gonna be helpful. In the front. Does that make sense? Frontal. Frontal part of the and I'll go in further detail with that, but I just want you guys to everyone got that down. Like you're about to make this part. That's your frontal. Everyone got it? Everyone put their hand up. Put their frontal up. Yeah, yeah. Like easy window. Like okay. Now we're gonna go over to the parietal. So the way that I like to memorize these two is y'all have parents. I grew up in an Asian household. I always fought with my parents, but at the end of the day, they roll over you. Okay, your parents are always going to rule you. No matter how different. You can scream, you can shout, you can throw hands, but at the end of the day, they're always going to roll over you. They're going to be counting your mistakes. My mom's favorite is that. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And so, parietal. I run right parietal up here. Got it? Someone put up the hand. Is that your and then right here, and your thumb right here, you're gonna write temporal. The parents always roll over the temporal. Okay? So now, just recapping. We got the frontal, parietal, temporal, and now we're gonna add the opposite right here. In your brain, right back here. Okay? What I like to think of is I always wish I had eyes on the back of my head. So I'm gonna start with it at like I wish I could always just make sure that I was good. That's why I wish I could. Occipital is in charge of vision, okay? So it's gonna be on the back of your. And then we got the brainstem right here. Brainstem. Okay. We got that. Everyone keeping up? And then I remember one year I had this student in my class that had a huge ganglion cyst here, and it was like massive. It was like taking up half of everything, and I was like, that's gross. I want that to be served out. So imagine like there's like a little hole, and it's like That would be the part right here. Okay. The brainstem and cerebellum are not going to be talked about as much, but you should definitely know these organs. And so I think it's really worthwhile to do this a little bit. It sounds stupid, it'll work. Especially if you jam out listening to Mario Kart music. Here. Frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital. Frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital. Okay? It's all tied up. You have hands. Come on. I need 2 hands. Let's do it. Frontal. I'm missing some hands. Frontal. There you go. Parietal. Temporal. Occipital. Frontal. Parietal. Temporal. Occipital. Try it at different speeds. Like you do like frontal or parietal. Temporal. Occipital. Buck it up and just get that down. And so on the day of the exam, you just know it. Okay? Frontal. Parietal. Temporal. Occipital. Frontal. Parietal. Temporal. Occipital. So your hands are bruised. Okay? Just get that down. All right. Now, in class, we focus on a couple things. One of them is this idea of blood sugar. And what we mean by that is maybe you take maybe the off, maybe you shave it off with your finicky and get half of it barbecue. You can still survive. Okay, you can still survive through the little bit of that, a little bit. But imagine if someone just like takes up your stuff. That's not going to go. That is it done. Okay, if you cut off your hand at the wrist, can the rest of the hand keep working? Just think about it that way. Okay, you cut off your hand at the wrist, can the rest of your hand keep working? No. You can have like maybe up and over. Yeah, you know, it's kind of tough to have to do, but the rest of you get stronger and but what you need to know is that if you get a brainstem, that's it. Okay. I'll go into it more when we start to break it down. Okay, so this is what you need to know. The frontal is all about attention. The attention is it's a ventral vision. I know that when a little bit later in life, the image, and it doesn't actually like fully develop until you're like 20 years old. Like something similar as having gas in it, but until you're you can think about impulsivity. Like I'm always moving. I cannot think. Everyone you see. That's why some people are like always moving their knees, that kind of thing. Okay, parietal and the somatic system. So we talked about parietal. We talked about their what you need to know about parietal is that it's in charge of counting objects. Knowing your object are. Think about it this way. I'll always lose random shit, and I'll ask my mom, "Bro, where is it? Like, I can't find it." And suddenly, like, she's like, "How did you do that? How did you do that?" I mean, right? It's hard. Like, find your object. They're just really good at it. Right? It's in charge. No. Parietal parents are in charge of counting objects in space. Which are the two main things I think we'll figure out. Just to know that because it's somatic sensory cortex. We actually covered have a lot of you'll be able to pick up. Have a lot of sensation. I think it's really big. It's like scary looking dude, but that's because this is how much brain goes into scary looking guy. I would recommend everyone looking up homunculus. Temporal. Our first kid is in charge of listening because kids, all you have to do is report to your parents. And also speaking, so speaking guy. First kid, if you ever go back and stroke, you'll learn not being able to understand anyone or not being able to think about that. That's yeah. Issues with focus or issues with so this is all about language, right? If you get more into the rest, you're gonna have to know not being able to or being able to mind, but never being able to actually understand. And it's not an issue with ears, right? It's not that you can't hear or you've gone like your vocal cords are like cut off. It's the cognition of the brain. That's what I want. It's also important for what objects cost. It's recognizing what an object is. For example, I'll go into it in further detail when I go to the pathways. Okay, occipital. I just said this, so if you can tell me what the occipital is in charge of. Vision, yeah. Look it up. Brainstem, can anyone tell me? Yeah, basic function. Yeah, like breathing, heart rate, that kind of thing. Someone cuts you off there, and you survive. No, no. Cerebellum is in charge of like balance, motor balance. It works along like brain. That's why there's such like neighbors to each other. That's like basic necessity, right? We started off with the walking, breathing, and you start building that vision and like being able to communicate is important. And then this is more luxury stuff. We don't even develop this until like later in life. Right? Like luxury. I'm probably never gonna have all this luxury, but All right, and you should know that there are sensory locations in the brain. So, I like to use my home. There is a vestibular area right here. You got your hearing here, but then it's not your lobe. And she goes, no, that all of these senses that's evolutionary technique that all three I don't know. Whenever I smell eggs, I like gag. It doesn't go through this like thalamus. Reason why I attack these tips is to balance out all that stuff. We needed to be able to survive just basic poisoning. Should we? And so just know that because that's what's going to be. Just about that. Terrible sense of smell because I would alleviate except I'm definitely getting poisoned. Important. And that's why when you have like PTSD and stuff, people have a really weird. Like I noticed that a lot when I was going through a lot of PTSD studies. Everyone always remembers how it smelled, like the rain falling or like fireplace or that kind of thing. Okay, pathways. Another really easy thing to test. Okay, so we got the dorsal and ventral pathways, also known as the where pathway and the what pathway. Easy way to remember. Dorsal. Think about dorsal fin. So what I like to do is like imagine like chilling for this year that like one answer think about that right everything where Megan out for the detail. I'm going to cue this up in your brains. You remember this live lecture that you're paying attention? Were we just sleeping? It is 3 p.m. lecture, so harder to sleep through than my recitation. But this is the what pattern. If you remember from this little video, this guy was trying to remember what the clock or this like little clock was, and he was like, oh my god, it has numbers. It was intact. It was not an issue sensing. It still had it's actually really tough. The ability to like, perceive the world. I mean, you can still sense the world, but not being able to understand it and sense yourself in it. Another so there's Oliver Sacks. I think he mentioned it in class. That's my favorite freaking author. I definitely and it's all about guys that is shooting a book and he would not go. So I could grab his right hand and put it on his head, his thigh. And it was so like you got Canadian and hard and the wife was like, she was so funny. She just smiled and she was the same guy that was like trying to describe the drones and did it in the most weird abstract way. Like, it was, go back and look at the slides for class. What about the where? So, I worked in the psych and I did a lot of these. Screen, for example, or you're not going to be able to, like, you're going to forget. What is it? Detail? Put in like that. I don't like that because I didn't know that. This is working out. Like your way through it, for example. I think I talked to a bunch of the best ways to study, and they said the same thing, which is going through the slides and pretending you're the teacher and just seeing if you can BS your way through it. And then afterwards going through the slides that you just and learning that shit, and then trying to BS it again. But yeah, do I need where's the damn chart? But if you burning your leg out of bed, trying to grab a identity recognition. For example, I have a bit of claustrophobia, which means that I'm just really bad at distance. I use any other tool to like figure out how I know you. If you ever talk to me in the street and I like just don't know what's going on, it's because I haven't placed you yet. Like I know Max has like scruffier hair. I know that I know Alan has like bleached hair. I kind of identify people based off other features in the face. I know Kaylee has curly hair. Do it like that. And that's because I have an issue with the web. Okay, now we're kind of getting into the more. This is a lot of text. Off your computer or an computer. So imagine that you are and you have a whole practice in your psychologist. You love shit. Dreaming of this. And you have a full practice with patients with all the types of different problems, brain. And you start having a patient. You know, like, you're like, let's draw a daisy, you put a cat, and let's say end of that's it. You seem pretty normal, right? So you're like not expecting that. You're like, oh, God, heart drops. You're like, they have a lesion in their brain. What exactly? What pathway of the brain? They can still identify it's a cat. They can still identify what a clock is. They're like, this is easy. Kindergarten stuff. But when they draw it, get this. What's going on? Why? Oh, and just a recap on the lobes. Everyone has the lobes on their hand, so everyone should be able to answer them. What part of the pathways are we going from? Where does like the pathway start? Front of the brain, back of the brain. Anyone? Anyone? Back of the brain. We're having an issue with that, but let's go back to the it's going from the back of the brain towards the middle of the brain. Okay? So these are the pathways you should know. It goes from the occipital lobe to the parietal lobe, or the occipital lobe to the temporal lobe. Okay? So, going back to this woman. She's like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what it's talking about. I know exactly what it's talking about. But then she draws back. What is her issue? Ventral. Okay. It's where it's in you don't like the right part. Try to look I cannot tell you like the right answer to figure it out. Like, I know my driver's license test. But it's an issue with where. Where's Chuck? Anyone have questions about that? Yeah. So if we're going back to where what would be more like identified? If she was like, if you presented a cat, and they're like, can you tell me the name of this object? It's obviously. She would have intact what? If she was like, oh, obviously that's spoon, that'd be an issue. What is when it came to this problem, she knew exactly what it is. She knew what she knew what it was. It was drawing that we found that she had some significance. So if they mistake one object for another, you know it's a two or one. If they can't, or if somebody said you don't, probably a good idea too. The slide will be posted on Brightspace and also to the website that I made for people who are not registered actually in the class. Okay. I don't know if we have enough time to do all the stuff. We have 30 minutes. Do you guys want to go through the EEG, TMS, and MRI type stuff? Because it might be on the final. Or do you want to go through perception and reason? Perception? Huh? Before or after? Before? Okay, then this might be on the final. The final is cumulative. So you should still know this stuff. Sensation, EEG, perception. I'm gonna have perception, so I'm gonna talk about it, okay? Just sorry, because I got time. What'd you say? Yeah, it's also going to be on this kind of stuff too. Like, I'm assuming that if you don't want to go over it, you already know it. You don't know? You do you want me to cover this because the test is also going to be on this? Yes? No? Okay. Actually, people are feeling a little more scared about this. So I'm going to go over it real quick. Okay. So it sounds like a lot of information. If I were to take away two things from this, is the idea of spatial. So what I mean by that is some things are really good at telling you exactly what your brain is doing, and then other techniques are going to tell you every little part of the brain that's in the deepest structure. That's it's spatial. And so all you need to do is in their ability to do temporal or spatial. This is a really easiest thing I found. You need to know that these are good like just electricity is tracking. So for example, if you have a seizure, it's going to be tracking that in real time. You're not going to track it. It's only like the surface. However, so really, really and it doesn't show you in real time. I'll explain these in further detail. So first, let's go over the things that are good controlling, things good in real time, bad spatially. Can't go into those deep, deep structures. This is used in depression. Essentially, it's like a gigantic magnet that they put near the brain, and then they do these pulses in response to your brain. Will cause a lesion. And what that lesion does is it deactivates maybe something that's causing you, or it deactivates, it causes like a temporary. It's a non-invasive way to function because the other directly that part. But it can't really reach anything other than like those surfaces in the parts of the brain. Okay, next up is EEG. Everyone's on and you should know that's good. It's good. This is good at like and they're constantly integrated into but you should know, even though it's in real time, it's not good spatially. Spatially, 19 19 temporally, time-wise, bad spatially equals. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, we're moving on. If you have any questions about that, now's the time to shut. No? 3, 2, 1. fMRI. I work for a lab, and fMRI study. You can see that they report every living part of your brain. What they're doing is they're cutting it's like the brain, and they're cutting it in all this way. And so essentially what it is it's seeing everything. It takes for example, I talked about someone in a MRI study. She just tells me, yeah, you're not tracking it in real time. Okay? You're just seeing it. I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna speed through fMRI because it's very easy. I feel like everybody knows it. And if you don't, you can also find this chart because it's very easy to break it down into and then what it does. For example, and then invasiveness. What is invasive? I'm going to talk about this in the last one. Okay, so PET. It's good eventually. So you I find a particular protein or neuron or your transmitter or whatever you're trying to pass, it'll attach it. Here. Active for a whole while. That's why it's invasive. Okay. It also costs 1.5. So they only do it if you're like, for example, trying to find where exactly this is. You need to like find it. This. Another thing to really the reason why is because you go to any like big event, like for example, let's say, I talk about that a lot. Rockefeller. Rockefeller. Somebody goes to Rockefeller and they set off all these police alarms saying that they have a radioactive bomb on them and they're going to cause a terrorist attack. When really, it's just because they had a pet stick. Very invasive, but it will tell you like where the cancer is. Okay. Now going into the completion perception. Everyone, answer quickly. So I want to make sure that you have time for your tests, for your comprehension checks. By the way, we have a comprehension check today. To the people sleeping in the back row. Comprehension check. Yeah, I like to see it. I like to see it. Very good. There's nothing wrong with your eye. You're just seeing you take that into try to understand it, recognize it, put it into a framework. Your brain is like, there's a problem with perception. So if you want to break it down further, it's not that your sense has any issue. It's a perception. You're perceiving it. Okay. These are a bunch of questions that might possibly be on the next exam. So you want to know. Yeah. The question is trying to see if you know the difference between proximal and distal senses. This is very straightforward, but I think you know. What's the definition of proximal? Proximal means proximity. You're very close to something. Distal means you're far away. Distance, okay? Proximity and distance. What do you think you can really do close to? Can you take something from far away? Can you touch something from far away? I'm really glad you guys did feel that. I'm slightly worried about that. Let's watch it. Yeah, very much in Europe all the time. Touch and taste. You can't really taste them. That would be weird. I don't. But yes, you're right. Absolutely. Let's see. Both of these are right. Blind sight patients. It's really hurry the fuck up. Nothing's wrong with their eyes, okay? But it's understanding what they're seeing, understanding and making sense of that process in your brain. Group B, yes, absolutely. Okay. And I think that we're running out of time, so I can go over this really quick. I don't think it'll take on us. Gray versus white matter, what you need to know is that gray is the outside before you, okay? Gray is the outside of the. That's all you really need to know. Gray matter is like white matter is what connects them all together. Think about like gray matter, white matter, and yeah. The city cannot work together, right? The city cannot have this connection. That makes sense, everyone. They depend on each other. They work on each other. You just had the subways and not the cities. Like, what's the point? You need gray and white matter. Got it? Soon so. Sulfide versus gyrite. In case you need to know. Okay, so I did it. She doesn't know that right side of the body, right part, left side. Okay? Non-intuitive, but that's the way it is. Okay, visual agnosia, we already covered it. Logic clarity. I don't think it'll be on the next test. I think we covered that before we did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this was on the first exam. Perception. Okay, so I actually have the. Oh, I know. Essentially, perception is not a passive process. I like one student brought up the point that maybe it's like it's unique sensation is in the environment pointer idle hitting the retina and then causing electrical activity. Um, and you can know that we perceive shifting stuff, but our perception decides what we want to. For example, I need like a lot of stimulus going on so I can be focused. It's working, whatever. That's why I need to train, that's why I'm walking around. I need a lot of like stimulation. We talked about personal and digital. And then the last part is vision. We'll cover it more next class because he didn't finish his stuff. But now it is time for your comprehension check. So everyone come up and show me your little card. And I will give you your class. A little card, very cool. Okay, Oh, so if you haven't gotten a cookie, come up and get a cookie. Oh, that's fine. I'll call someone. Yeah. You're good.